Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Wednesday Night Mayhem live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is good MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. We are awaiting the presence of Michael Bullock, but if he does come in, then we will catch him up on all the action. If we're just gonna have to wait and see how this plays out, but ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a very interesting evening, to say the very least, as we will have, as always, NXT and AEW Dynamite recaps here tonight. So, with that said, we will start off with the black and gold brand of NXT. It was last night, as always, from the Capitol Wrestling Center. This time around, not on USA, because of the fact that due to the Summer Olympic Games going on at this hour, and as we speak, we it was actually moved to Sci-Fi this time around. So Sci-Fi Network had the episode, and so we started it off, and it was actually pre-recorded, so it was taped about a week ago on July 21st. However, because we didn't want to get spoiled, I don't think Anthony or myself or Michael Bullock, we didn't even go and look at the spoilers. We all kind of wanted to see it for ourselves, like always. And we started it off with the first tag team fight of the evening, Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa versus Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan. And when it was all said and done, Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan wins the match by the final time of 12 minutes and 51 seconds. Um, I gotta say it, excellent, excellent, excellent match. Great way to jump off NXT. Solid fight. 3 to 3.25 stars for me. You could even make an argument for 3.5. Definitely can. This was a knockdown, drag out, be a man fight. These four just lit it up, and it was definitely a great start to the show. There's really nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
What was that time again? Time of the fall?
12:53.
I thought it was longer than that, but all right. 3.5 stars for me. I'm going to pull the trigger on this. I could even go as far as 3 3/4 if I wanted to. This was a battle of brawlers and technicians that truly stood out thanks to the uniqueness of these old school styles of wrestling. What matters most in the ring is variety. Matches like this are fun to watch because there is nothing else like it. The tag team maneuvering throughout made clear these teams knew each other well, even if they aren't traditional tandems. And I'm surprised MF didn't mention this. The return of Ridge Holland. Whoa, what a surprise that was. He went down due to a freak accident last October and has worked hard to get himself back in the ring shape. It looks like he is ready to make an impact, and he can do that as the heavy for Pete Dunne's stable. So I don't know what else there is to say on that. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star for me. You can make an argument for fight of the night if you wanted to. I mean, because that's how great this was. And MF, Ridge Holland is back. Oh boy, you thought Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan were dangerous already. Imagine them with Ridge Holland as their enforcer. And then what do you think is going to happen once Danny Burch is cleared to come back? Oh boy. Oh boy. So, not much more to say, MF. Let's just move on to our next matchup.
It was the Breakout Tournament. Carmelo Hayes one-on-one with Josh Briggs. And when it was all said and done, Carmelo Hayes advances. 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Anthony Florio, is all yours.
Easily the best match of the tournament to date. Carmelo Hayes played his role well, working from underneath against a much larger competitor. Briggs had more he needed to show and did make some impact. However, this was primarily Hayes' match. While it did get more time, this contest should have felt more dramatic than it was. Briggs is a serious talent who could make an impact sooner than later. However, despite dominating the pace of the match, he never looked close to a win. Carmelo Hayes versus Duke Hudson has potential, but it is important that the two find a steady pace and a story to tell. 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating for this. MF, best match of the Breakout Tournament so far, and we still got more to come.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Like you said, 2.5 was the rating for the match. It was a solid match. I think it was definitely something that needs to be said, and it was excellent, excellent, excellent for what I saw. And we'll go from there. So, all right. Normally on the show we don't really talk about promo segments. We kind of worry about more about the matches than anything else, except for this. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel was cutting a promo and the whole 9 yards. And talking about the next challenger for the title, Dakota Kai just turned on Raquel Gonzalez and basically called her shot. She's the next in line for the title. Oh, Dakota, baby girl. You want to talk about making a statement, Anthony Florio? She hit her with that, I guess you could call it that haluva kick. And oh my God, what on earth? Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, best friends no more. They're bitter enemies now, and they're about to scrap for the NXT Women's Gold.
If we're going to talk about promo segments, we got to talk about the one with Samoa Joe. I mean...
Oh, we'll get into that. Oh, no, we'll get into that, too.
Okay. But anyways, it was the second best segment of the night because Gonzalez and Kai cut fairly generic promos here, but it was all a ruse for what was truly planned. The story was set up nicely as the captain of Team Kick has spent too long in the shadow of the wrestler she brought into NXT back at TakeOver Portland about 1.5 years ago. These two have top chemistry that will likely translate to a massive singles match. This is the first contest where it feels possible Gonzalez will lose. Dakota Kai has waited so long for an opportunity like this and may be the right woman to dethrone the NXT Women's Champion. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. MF, TakeOver 36, possibly?
I can't deny that. I can't deny it. I think TakeOver 36 will be the event. I think it will be the moment. Oh my God, unbelievable how that just went down. I'm in a state of shock right now. I cannot believe that just happened. But it is what it is. It's amazing how this played out. Yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So, oh my word. So, and like you said, Anthony, I guess we'll get into it. We'll talk about it briefly, but we also have to talk about it. The Samoa Joe promo. Oh my God, Joe calling the shot, wanting an opportunity at the title. Wanting revenge for what Karrion Kross did to Mr. William Regal. But Regal said it. Joe, if you want to do this, there's a couple of things I need to do. One, you have to resign, and you can no longer be the associate or the heavy for me. You can no longer be like the head of security or whatnot. Joe's like, fine, I'm cool with that. I resign. And on top of that, you also have to sign an NXT talent contract that would make him exclusively a wrestler. Joe agrees to that. All of a sudden, Joe and Kross are now a go. And we're going to get that at NXT 36, TakeOver 36, the title on the line. Oh my heavens. What a matchup this is going to be. So now, Anthony Florio, promo of the night, you said it. Joe and Kross are now about to go to war for the title.
Indeed they are. Oh boy. Whew. This segment was handled almost perfectly. Samoa Joe is terrifying when he is angry, but he kept everything official. This made sense given how William Regal demands order in NXT. Joe showed him complete respect, even though he could barely contain his frustration. Karrion Kross versus Samoa Joe is a money match that NXT has not had in a long time. The Samoan submission specialist has been established as the one man who can truly match the intensity of the NXT champion. This will be a war for the ages. Segment of the night, hands down about that. And MF, we all know how much you love the Be a Man fights. Get ready for August 22nd, the night after SummerSlam. TakeOver 36. Your boy, Samoa Joe, and Karrion Kross, NXT Championship. MF, you love Be a Man fights? Get ready. This is going to take Be a Man and Hoss fight to a whole new level. Move on. You can move on, MF. I'm all set here.
Sorry. I kind of was preoccupied at the moment. So we're just going to move right on along. And the next thing that we had was, of course, a tag team match. Jesse Camilla and Frankie Monet versus Katie Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. And Casey and Kaden wins it. 3 minutes, 28 seconds. Catanzaro hit the 450 on Frankie Monet. Oh, well, how about that? All right. I mean, look, I'm going to say it. A little bit of a shocker, a little bit of a surprise. I think we can all say, I don't think we expected that to happen, but I got to say it. 328, major upset. All right, maybe star and a half, 2 stars for the effort. Shocking booking, Anthony, because you kind of feel like Monet and Jessica Camilla, maybe that should work out. They should win the match. But you go up against Casey and Kaden, you're thinking, maybe not. I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, boy. Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter just won. They just pulled off yet another upset in NXT.
And I know when you saw Casey Catanzaro flying through the air, MF, you had the hearts and the stars in your eyes, didn't you?
No comment.
If you haven't been watching this show, folks, I mean, good old MF Michael Fletcher has a thing for Casey Catanzaro like you wouldn't believe. Going back to her days on American Ninja Warrior, that's when she won his heart and then some. So MF called dibs. I'm staying away, even though she's grown on me. But a big tough guy here, all of Jesse Ventura. But we could have had a little fun little moment with that, but we're gonna move on here. Another fun moment. I could have really pulled out a little fun moment when MF was hung up for a moment. But
what were you thinking?
You said you were preoccupied. I was like, what were you? I was going to pull out the classic WrestleMania 6.
No.
I was going to pull out the cross. I was considering pulling out the WrestleMania, our legendary and favorite WrestleMania 6 bit. You know where I'm going with that one.
Yes. The real reason why was I was listening to Steve Kornacki as he was talking about something related to the Olympics, and that probably would have been the perfect moment. And I was like, I would.
What were you doing?
Yeah, well, I was listening to Steve over here on the TV, and
yeah. Wait a minute, you were were you stuffing your face with another hot dog again? Oh man,
yeah.
We could have had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
If only the light bulb had gone off a little quicker. But
yeah.
But all kidding aside, another big moment for MF's favorite gal there, Casey Catanzaro. All right, look, the match, wasn't much. I agree, it was about 1.5 to 2 for the effort. There wasn't much of a match here before Robert Stone's mistake cost Frankie Monet. This has been the same story every week with La Rira Loca. Only those who knew her before she came to WWE, like myself and MF, would be confident in her abilities at this time. It seems Monet will only fully shine when she escapes Robert Stone. It is honestly surprising that the manager has been allowed to stay involved with her and Jesse Kamea. He is a fun character, but has frequently held back talent with his comedic booking, Aaliyah. So, just had to let that little splurt out there. But anyways, 1.5 to 2, and MF. I've already known how much you liked her, but I'm really starting to get it now. I'm like, okay, now I know why MF's so gaga over her. I get it now.
Thanks. Anyway, next up we had was Imperium versus Hit Row. Imperium wins the match. It was Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner taking down Ashanti Diodonis and Top Dollar in this one. Anthony Florio is yours. Imperium wins it. 8 minutes and 56 seconds.
This was better than I thought. I mean, I didn't really have any high hopes going into it because I'm not high on Hit Row. I'm not. But this is the first time that they've actually done something to somewhat impress me. While it is a shame to see Hit Row lose some momentum this early, it made sense. This was an unofficial number one contenders match, and Imperium is ready to challenge MSK sooner rather than later. This was a good contest in which Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner showed why they are one of the best tag teams in WWE. This was not quite their typical sprint, but the pacing was just as energized. Imperium kept control of the ring and paced out their action to give Hit Row some great hot tag moments. I'm going to go as far as to call this sleeper fight of the night. I'm going to give this a solid 3 stars for the effort. Very surprised. I didn't really have much high hope for it, but MF, I don't impress easy, but they somewhat impressed me. Not bad.
No, that it was pretty good. It was pretty good. No doubt about it. There's really nothing more to add here. So yeah, like you said, this was about 3, so solid. Main event of the evening, as it was Adam Cole versus Brockton Reed. Adam Cole wins the match in 11 minutes and 15 seconds. Very good main event. Decent main event. Solid match. Another 3-star outing for me. Look, Adam Cole keeps the momentum going, but that after was, oh my goodness. There was really nothing more to add. Anthony, solid main event, and even the stuff after was pretty good. So 3 stars for me. Nothing more to say. Floyo, it's yours.
3.25 to 3.5 stars. It is nice to see Bronson Reed get at least a few more big matches before heading to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. He is talented, but likely to struggle for the same spotlight outside NXT. He needed this chance to remind everyone he can compete with the best. He and Adam Cole had a really good TV main event where it was unclear throughout who would win. Adam Cole found a unique approach to outsmarting Bronson Reed, but it was a more methodical war of moves than the Johnny Gargano matches that put Reed on the map. The Colossal One could have used a win here, but it is unclear where he will be in the long term. If he is leaving, the loss made sense. Hopefully, this final match between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole will be the end of their feud. O'Reilly was supposed to become one of NXT's top stars with this rivalry, but the story has lagged a bit before getting to its climax, which I believe will be at TakeOver 36. So that's all I can say on this. 3.25, 3.5 stars. So there's not much more for me to say here, except we'll get into the overall review, and I'll start it off here. Very good show here. 7.5 to 8 out of 10 is my rating for this. I mean, that opening match, that's definitely one of the best ones I've seen. That was my fight of the night for me. Second best fight of the night, obviously, was the main event. And the Hit Row and Imperium surprised the hell out of me. I didn't have much hope for it, but it ended up being a lot better than I initially thought. And then the 2 segments. with some the two headliners who made this a very newsworthy show, Samoa Joe and Dakota Kai. The wrestling was good here, and the antics on the golf course between LA Knight and Cameron Grimes made it even better. The show felt much more NXT-esque, as they seem to know where they want to go and are taking steps to get there. Not only did stuff happen on this show, but stuff happened that advanced the stories and got us closer to the TakeOver card. That's where NXT shines, and it is great to have that feeling back after a very disappointing week last week, where it was to the point where we considered it the worst NXT of the year so far. But they rebounded in a big way, as only they could. So 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I feel that's the correct rating for this. So MF, let's get to your rating, and then we'll get into what ended up being a very exciting edition of AEW Dynamite tonight.
7 out of 10. I totally agree with you on that one. I don't think there's really much more to say. We're going to get into AEW Dynamite. Here we go, guys. This is it. The moment we were waiting for. Team Dark Order versus Team Elite Survivor Series elimination matchup. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 25 minutes and 35 seconds, Team Elite wins it. Your survivors, Kenny Omega and Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks, were the survivors of the matchup. Okay. In one sense, I feel like it was a great Survivor Series style match. I love the story. I loved everything about it. They got this outcome wrong. This was the wrong outcome. This is where the Dark Order, and especially Adam Hangman Page, he should have won this match. I totally disagree with the booking, even though this was a great match. This is like a 4.5 star match. This is even better than anything Survivor Series style you get from WWE. Like, I'll even go as far to say that. But I just feel like the booking of this match was not correct. The wrong guys went over, in my mind. And I don't know how they're going to play this, what type of situation they're going to do, because of the fact that with Hangman Adam Page being so close for the title, like he's right there, I really think they did a major disservice to him tonight. Because remember, if you remember the stipulation, if you don't win this match, you do not get a shot at the AEW World Heavyweight title. So basically, as of now, Hangman goes to the back of the line. He loses his number one spot. And as far as the Bucks go, that would have been the perfect team to challenge for the tag team titles. Who do you throw now for the tag belts? I think AEW did a major disservice tonight. Yes, it was a great match, but the outcome and the aftermath is a major mess. You just literally made what I believe was a horrible mistake. Anthony, it's yours.
Absolutely, positively correct on everything. I mean, I thought this was AEW. I mean, who booked the outcome of this match? Did Vince McMahon secretly sneak in there and book the outcome of this match? My God, horrible. But I'm going to give it between 4.25 to 4.5 stars. This was the fight of the night. A wild, chaotic, dramatic, and story-heavy start to the show that ranks instantly as one of the best matches on Dynamite this year. From the heroic entrance of Adam Page and Dark Order to the overconfident corporate Space Jam, a new legacy-themed entrance of the heels all the way through the match until the very end of Page's valiant fight, this hit on every level. The one-winged angel has been so protected by everyone from AEW to Impact Wrestling that the moment Page inevitably kicks out of it to beat Omega and win the world title will be unforgettable. For now, Page comes oh so close to achieving his goal of an AEW world title opportunity only to see it slip through his fingers at the hands of a numbers disadvantage. Keep the fans salivating for the moment so that when it is finally delivered on, it means more and elicits the desired reaction. AEW is on its way there thanks to the undeniable connection between its central babyface and the fans. But from a personal standpoint, MF and I 100% agree on this one. The outcome was absolutely horrific, beyond wrong. But MF, even though we hate the outcome of this, I still feel there's a payoff coming. I feel it in my bones. There's a payoff coming. I mean, you know, this is almost like 8 years ago when Daniel Bryan. You remember when Daniel Bryan was his journey from SummerSlam all the way to WrestleMania 30, when he eventually got his moment and became the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I got a feeling that something like that's going to happen. I still think it's going to be all out. I still think something's going to happen. But, you know, we still have a bit of time left. We got about a month or so. We got about 4 or 5 or so weeks, maybe. I believe it's 5 weeks from this Sunday is that event. So you don't want to give too much away too soon. Do I hate the outcome? Abso-freaking-lutely. I'm right there with you, MF. I hate it as much as you do. I was more surprised than anything else. I thought for sure that that Hangman and Dark Order were going to win this match. I really did. But I got this feeling. I still have a feeling in my bones that it's somehow going to happen. We're just going to have to wait and see. So 4.25, 4.5 stars, fight of the night, no doubt about it. There was one other match that came close to it, but this to me, I do believe was the fight of the night, no doubt about it. Lived up to the hype. You know how much I love traditional Survivor Series style matches, no matter what company it is. So awesome. So not much more to say. MF, let's move on. And don't worry, fans. I still believe it's coming. I believe a payoff is coming. Just wait.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next up, we had it's Santana and Ortiz with Conan versus FTR. Winners of the bout in 8 minutes. FTR wins the match. So this was about 8 minutes. FTR, the winners. Anthony, it's yours.
Wow. Talk about getting pressed for time. But there's a reason for it. Cash Wheeler, he suffered an injury. Just like the other night on this past Monday night on Raw when Natalya suffered that freak injury on her own. The injury suffered by Wheeler severely hampered this one through no fault of his own. It is far too early to even speculate on what the injury was, but cameras caught Wheeler and ringside trainers nursing a bloody forearm injury of some sort. One can only hope he is okay and makes a quick recovery from whatever ails him. If he was physically capable of competing in the final stretch of the match, he would have. The action was very good. Harwood, Santana, and Ortiz all deserve props for making the most of the match to the best of their ability. They excelled despite the circumstances. Hopefully they get the opportunity to have this match again when all 4 are healthy. Solid 3 stars, maybe 3.25 at best for this. But MF, if not for that injury, this could have been the banger we all expected it to be.
Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. This should have been a better match, but it wasn't. Yeah, about 2.5 to 3. It was getting up there, but you know, it is what it is. So next up we had was Lance Archer versus Hunico for the IWGP United States title. Lance Archer wins the match in 8 minutes even. So he successfully defends the title, which is about another 2.5 to 2.75 of a star. Solid match, nice big man fight. Be a man. It was a little slow and plotty in some points, which is fine. But the right man won. The right man goes over. But now, Anthony, oh my goodness.
Oh.
The bomb went off. And boy, did it go, because now that forbidden door swung open again.
Oh
this
boy,
time,
howdy has it.
And this time in the way of AEW, because boys, Lance Archer's got to put the title on the line. We don't know when he's going to do it, but when he does,
he's got to go to Japan.
He's got to go to. Oh, he's going to Japan. All right, so he's got to go to Japan, but he's got to have an ace waiting for him over there.
And you know this guy way more than I do, so feel free to drop that JR knowledge like you always do.
The most decorated IWGP heavyweight champion of all time. One of the greatest, a former IWGP Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion in his own right. Has main evented more Wrestle Kingdoms than any superstar in New Japan Pro Wrestling. When I call him the ace, he is the ace. This guy is literally known as the John Cena of Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi. That's the man I'm talking about. Anthony Florio, it's going to happen in Japan at some point, but Archer versus Tanahashi, in the immortal words of Gorilla Monsoon, what a matchup that's going to be.
It's going to be something else, eh, Monsoon? Oh, my. All right. But there was one other thing that needed to be addressed. First and foremost, no Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake Roberts was not in Lance Archer's corner, but guess who was in Hikaleo's corner? A man that MF and I grew up watching 30 years ago.
His father, Haku.
King Haku. Or as Vince McMahon would always say, Haku. Yeah, from that Royal Rumble intro. I believe it was in 91, I think. But nonetheless, yes, Haku, King Tonga, or for all you WCW guys out there, Ming, you all remember that. And man, he still got it, man. If he had, I mean, he got a little involved during that match, and if he had hit that thrust kick on him, I would have marked like a crazy man, because I loved that thrust kick, man. I'll tell you what, that crescent kick when he was King Haku 30 years ago. The effort was there, but Archer was clearly working with someone with considerably less experience than him. With that in mind, he did a fine job of selling the second-generation Star's offense before firing up and putting him away. So, 2.5 stars for me. And am I excited about Archer and Tanahashi? Yes. But I would have been a little more excited if it was Tanahashi coming here. I wish he would have been coming to AEW. But they said that Lance Archer is going to be going over to Japan. He's going to go over to New Japan and defend that IWGP US title against Hiroshi Tanahashi. When I heard that, I immediately thought of MF, and I'm like, when MF gets word of this, MF is going to freak out, because MF knows this guy. We all know, not just good old MF Michael Fletcher, but also the OG of this show, the Yankee Messiah 401, Derek Ferreira. MF and Derek are the two biggest New Japan marks I know. And I know both men were obviously freaking out when they heard this announcement, because I don't know if I've ever seen him wrestle before, but I've heard of his accolades. I know he's one of the absolute greats in New Japan, and I only wish that he was coming to AEW, because that really would have done it. But it doesn't matter whether it's AEW or New Japan. The match is going to be a banger. There's no doubt about it. So if Tanahashi is as good as they say he is, I mean, oh boy. I know he's put on several 5-star classics, I'm sure. So MF could, tell us stories for days about all the epic matches that he's had in New Japan, and MF has seen a gajillion of them. I don't think I've seen any, but I'm hopeful that we'll find a way to see it, and hopefully MF and or Derek can make that happen for us. So because they got the New Japan connections, whereas Bullock and I don't really, but it's gonna be great. So 2.5 stars. And yes, Monsoon, what a matchup that's going to be. Absolutely.
All right. So with that said, we do move on along. Next up we had was a 6-man tag team match. Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Christian versus Mark Quinn and Atletico and Isaiah Cassidy of and when it was all said and done, it was Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus winning in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And then after the match, the Blade with those freaking brass knuckles ducked Christian Cage. And man,
oof.
Damn. That's all I'm going to say. Florio, it's yours.
God almighty. 2-star effort. Way too short for time, but it had energy. This had energy thanks to the crowd's love for baby faces, but it was a relatively straightforward match otherwise. The baby faces went over with Christian Cage scoring another win that then immediately set up a match with the Blade immediately after. That will be a damn fine match between two grizzled wrestling vets. The question becomes when Cage will move on from what is a mostly uninteresting feud with the Hardy family office and on to something with a bit more bite. I mean, there are only so many times fans can listen to Jim Ross remind us over and over again that Cage and Matt Hardy have been fighting and feuding for 23 years. So, but this was a 2-star effort. And MF, I can confirm, Christian Cage versus The Blade will take place next Wednesday night on Dynamite at the Homecoming at Daly's Place in Jacksonville. How about it?
All right. It's a solid match. Good battle. I mean, 2 stars, like you said. Really nothing more to say. And now we had a match. It was Julia Hart 1-on-1 with now AEW Women's Superstar Thunder Rosa. Yes, Thunder Rosa is now All Elite. She is now officially signed with AEW and knocked off Julia Hart in 4 minutes. And more importantly, Thunder Rosa is number 1 in the rankings. Therefore, she is the next in line to fight Dr. Britt Baker for the women's title. Anthony, I mean, another 2-star match, solid, short. Could have been better, but now we can start dreaming and fantasizing of a Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker officially for the AEW women's title, because now that Thunder Rosa is officially All Elite, she now has the opportunity to fight for the gold. She can now go after the belt.
Can you say September 5th at All Out, MF?
I agree.
Chicago, get ready. And if it's anything like what we saw on St. Patty's Day, well, we're in for a banger. That's all there is to say on that, because as of right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Emmett, but don't these two have the women's match of the year up to this point so far?
As of right now, and in many people's minds and in many circles, yeah, this is the women's fight of the year right now.
Yeah, that 4.5 to 5-star classic they gave us on that Dynamite on St. Patrick's Day, that lights out match that blew our minds and then some. And but this here was a little more than a showcase for Thunder Rosa, who out-wrestled her younger opponent. Julia Hart was solid enough and has repeatedly shown flashes of a performer with great promise and will very likely achieve big things as she gains experience. The future is bright for her. But for Thunder Rosa, this was but one step closer on her journey to the AEW Women's Championship and a future title showdown with Dr. Britt Baker, which I believe will be signed and sanctioned for Sunday night, September the 5th, as part of Labor Day weekend, AEW All Out in Chicago. So that's all there is to say on that. And I would not at all be surprised if Rosa wins the title. I wouldn't. But, we'll have to wait and see. So, but anyways, this was another 2-star or so effort. So, so with that being said, oh boy, MF, main event time. Oh my goodness. I'm still cringing.
Not for the faint of heart, ladies and gentlemen. It was Chris Jericho versus Nick Gage in a no rules match. Anything goes. Basically, oh my God. This was GCW at its finest. Chris Jericho wins the match in roughly 13 minutes. Okay, if you're an enthusiast of the hardcore match or the death match or anything like this is definitely for you. This is that kind of style. This is that kind of match. This is that kind of fight. If you love blood, there was a lot of it. You love gore, there was a lot of it. It was weapons upon weapons upon weapons. Hell, we brought LED hydrogen light bulbs in the fight. That's how bad this thing was. When we talk about bloodbaths, this was a bloodbath. Nick Gage used a pizza cutter on Chris Jericho. Oh, I mean, okay. Bill McConnell, my good friend from Walmart, basically said, "Someone order a pizza." God damn it, Bill. Oh my God, you knucklehead. There's nothing more to say. This was bloody and gory. If you love it, you love it. If you didn't, I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. This was wow. I don't even know how to rate this. Maybe 3.5, 3 3/4. Even as a hardcore enthusiast as I am, ooh, that might have been a little too much. That might have been a little too hard for me to say. I love my hardcore fights, but I don't know. That might have been overboard. Florio, what's yours?
It's Nick Gage. Of course, it's going to be overboard. Man's an animal, for goodness sakes. Oh my God. But man alive. I'm going to be honest with you. That was the first time I've ever seen Nick Gage in any sort of wrestling match, and like I just said, he's a damn animal. That's all there is to say on that. I mean, God, hoofa. I mean, I saw something. I mean, the last time we saw a match like this was 11 nights ago, Impact Wrestling Slammiversary. I mean, it's almost like they took a page out of Kenny Omega and Sami Callihan's playbook, for goodness sakes. The damn pizza cutter came into the mix again. Sami Callihan did that to Kenny Omega at Slammiversary 11 nights ago. And then 11 nights later, I never thought I'd see that spot again. I was hoping I would never see that spot again, or at least not for a long time. But I hate seeing those pizza cutters used like that. Cringeworthy. Jesus. But nonetheless, all kidding aside, what a match. It was the second best fight of the night for me. What makes today's wrestling landscape so damn fun is the wealth of styles for fans to invest themselves in. Some, like myself and Michael Bullock, love technical wrestling. Others appreciate the Japanese strong style. Some love aerial action, and others appreciate the more story-based in-ring action you might find in major North American promotions. Then there are those that love deathmatch, hardcore wrestling, like good old MF Michael Fletcher and Derek Ferrera. And that's totally cool. Everyone has their tastes. But from a personal standpoint, I didn't care for the uber violence of that style. However, it was the next logical step in MJF's quest to make life an insufferable hell for Chris Jericho. And in that regard, it worked and then some. It forced Jericho into a realm in which he had never competed against a performer who perfected that style. Jericho overcame the challenge of Nick Gage and now awaits a showdown with Juventud Guerrera. Yes, the Juice. Juventud Guerrera. World-class cruiserweight against whom he made his name in WCW. The nostalgia of that match and the style featured will be more palatable. For Nick Gage, it marked a major milestone and opportunity to share his passion for the deathmatch style with the largest audience he has ever competed in front of, The match with Jericho, coupled with his social media ruling showdown with Matt Cardona over the weekend, has MDK's name on the lips of wrestling fans at large. And one of the great stories in wrestling, as documented by his appearance on Vice's Dark Side of the Ring, Michael Bullock's Bible, as I call it, it is nearly impossible not to feel some sense of happiness for him. But, my God, that was absolute insanity. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. I 100% agree with that. Second best fight of the night. But MF, we're going to take a trip in the Wayback Machine. We're going to go back to see Chris Jericho in a match where he can the only way he can win is the only way he can, gain a victory of some sort is to use a move from the top rope. And he's going to be competing against Juventud Guerrera. A lot of our younger fans are like, who? Don't worry, we know who he is.
Oh, yeah.
Do we remember those legendary matches that they had in WCW around 96, 97 or so?
Oh, yeah. And remember, he was one of the responsible cruiserweights back in the day as well, where you had him versus Rey Mysterio, him versus Psychosis.
Oh.
Those were some excellent matches. Dean Malenko. He had, so no, without a doubt, he's gonna have some very optimistic moments. It's just gonna be, how's he gonna look in the whole 9 yards? Oh yeah, this is gonna be very interesting to say the very least. So, really nothing more to say. And yeah, Anthony, it was bloody, it was gory, it was everything, and now he's gotta fight Juventud. Oh man, this is gonna be a hell of a match. So nothing more to say. We're done for at least this time. We only got the overall review to go. So Anthony, I believe you lead off on this. So give me your last thoughts on AEW, and then I'll close it for the night.
Wow. Since the Welcome Back tour started 3 weeks ago, this was the show I was looking the most forward to, mainly because of that Survivor Series like elimination match that we saw with the Elite and Hangman and Dark Order. But my God, this was very good. This is a great show. Another great show here. I got to give this, just like with NXT, I got to give this between 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I mean, I'm very surprised that that elimination match was not the main event. I thought for sure that was going to be the main event, but it wasn't. It was the opener, and a couple of the matches could have been better. I mean, we only had 2 so-so matches, but the other matches were good to great. I mean, the best thing I can say about this show is it flew by. Dynamite is not a boring show, and even the main event felt fast. And stories were advanced. The opener was great, and we're done with Nick Gage in theory. What more can you ask for in 2 hours other than that's pretty much all I can say there. What else can you ask for? I mean, that Survivor match was definitely the fight of the night. That No Rules match, second best fight of the night. And round out the top 3 with Santana and Ortiz against FTR, which could have been a hell of a lot better. But unfortunately, injuries are part of the business, and it definitely hampered the bout. But if it wasn't for that thing could have been we could have added yet another banger on this night. We could have had 3 bangers on this night. But we had 2 bangers and one that was on its way to it, but not tonight. But 7.5 to 8 out of 10. And it's back to Daly's place for next week, and Malachi Black and Cody Rhodes, the headliner. Miro will defend the TNT Championship against Lee Johnson. We're also going to see Christian Cage square off against the Blade, and we're also going to have an NWA Women's World Title Eliminator match between the Bunny and legit Leela Hirsch, and the winner will earn the right to challenge the NWA Women's World Champion and MF, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that the lovely Camille?
It's Camille. Camille now holds the women's title. Yes.
So the winner will get to challenge Camille. We'll get a future NWA Women's title opportunity against Camille. So it'll either be legit Leela Hirsch or the Bunny in this case. And I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but Chris Jericho and Juventud possibly. So wow. So Daly's Place, get ready. So not much more to say. 7.5 to 8 in MF. We're going back to Daly's Place.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was a 7.5 out of 10 tonight. Solid show. I really got nothing bad to say. That's it for tonight. So we're done for the evening, and we got ourselves a very good Strictly Sports tomorrow, Anthony. We got a lot that broke down this past week. Today in the NHL, a lot of moves were going down. And then we also got something that we were supposed to get into this week, but we didn't get into, a major trade in baseball, right?
Well, some big trades in baseball, some big trades in the NHL, and of course a big development. Apparently, it looks like Aaron Rodgers is coming back to Green Bay.
Yeah, he actually ended his holdout, so he is back in Green Bay. And we also got a major situation in Miami when Xavier Howard demanding a trade. We'll get into that as well. And then, of course, the big three. We got the big three as well. So, yeah, we got ourselves a decent stuff. And I might throw in a little bit of some Olympic stuff. You know, some of the highlights already of this first week in the Olympic Games.
Yeah. So break it down. What's the order of the docket there?
I say let's go with the NFL first, the NHL second. So all the NFL stories, we'll get that first. The NHL will be second. We'll do I guess the baseball trades, we'll get that after that. So it'll go NFL, NHL, baseball, big three, and then we'll do the Olympics as our main event.
Fair enough. And then the following week, it's all about the NBA draft.
It's all about the NBA draft, yeah.
But we'll also make sure make sure you get some time to get into your big three recap for that week as well. So
we'll probably do that first, and then we'll get into the NHL.
Let me do the NBA draft. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. So we'll have to go over which stories for each league, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
All right. So it's good enough for me.
All right. So we're done for the night. Thank you, everybody, as always. And until next week, for Anthony Fleo, I'm Michael Fletcher. So long, everybody.
Goodbye.